Mark. Welcome back to Community Conversations. My name is Agatha Jimenez. I'm the Communications Coordinator with the City of Marque. And today we have Cecily Henderson, the Executive Director of the Resource and Crisis Center of Galveston County. Thank you so much for joining me today.
I am glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So in honor of January being National Human Trafficking Prevention Month, we invited our special guest here today to tell us more about human trafficking and what the Resource and Crisis Center is doing in our community to prevent human trafficking. So without further ado, can you tell me more about RCC?
Yes, I'll tell you that we do deal with human trafficking. Our mission is to advocate and help victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. So this month we're really focusing on educating our population in Galveston County as to what they may see if there's a human trafficking situation going on, and if they see something, to say something. We have a 55-bed shelter on the island. We work closely with Marque Police Department and their Safe City initiative, and every police officer in the county knows if they have somebody that needs to come to our shelter, we always have a bed available for them.
Wow, wonderful.
Yep. In addition to that, we have 4 resale stores. We've got 2 on the island, a home store, and we've got a general clothing store on Broadway in Galveston, and we've got one in Marque, and we also have one in League City. And those stores provide about $1.2 million to help keep our shelter doors open and to help us in our efforts.
Wow. And so what is human trafficking?
Okay, so there's a couple of different forms of human trafficking. We've got labor trafficking and then also sex trafficking. As defined by the CDC, sex trafficking is a type of human trafficking and is a form of modern-day slavery. It is a serious public health crisis that negatively affects the well-being of individuals, families, and communities. Human trafficking occurs when a trafficker exploits an individual with force, fraud, or coercion to make them perform commercial sex or work. And that is the definition from the CDC.
Okay. And is that affecting our community?
It is. It is. There's lots of different types of trafficking, especially in the sex trafficking. We've got the Romeo or boyfriending, and you'll see this happen when somebody comes in, takes in a vulnerable person, and in return, they ask them to perform sex to help pay for the rent, things of that nature, and it turns into sex trafficking that way. And of course, you've got the online trolling, where we really have to educate our public about it because it's happening to adults and kids alike. And there's a growing statistic for
Good evening. City of Lamarck, City Council regular agenda, April 14th, 2025. Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Lamarck, Texas will conduct a regular meeting on April 14th, 2025, beginning at 6 p.m. Council chambers at 1109 B Bayou Road, Lamarck, Texas, as well as via video conference hosted through Zoom. In accordance with section 551.127B of the Texas Local Government Code, the presiding officer and the quorum of the Lamarck City Council intend to be and will physically be present at 1109 B Bayou Road, Lamarck, Texas. This location will be open to the public, and the meeting will be broadcast at this location on Channel 16 via YouTube. The council will meet for the purpose of considering the following agenda. The meeting has been called to order. Kiara, would you give us a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Councilmember District A.
Here.
Councilmember District B is with us online. Not at the moment. Councilmember District C.
Present.
Councilmember District D.
Present.
And Mayor.
Present. Thank you. Ms. Nance, would you lead us in our pledge as I lead us in our invocation?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to pray. No, ma'am. We'll do you like that. Let's pray. Eternal God, our Father, we certainly acknowledge your presence in our lives and in this meeting place. And we thank you, God, for this great city of Lamarck, for all of its residents, all of its appointed and elected officials. Guide us tonight, God, with wisdom and understanding, with love and compassion, to do what is in the best interest of all of your creation. We trust you, Lord. We thank you in advance, knowing that you will bless our time here tonight. We ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Nance. Oh, we're at proclamations. All right. There are quite a few. We will tonight acknowledge those who are not present and read into the record those that are present. Arbor Day. Arbor Day. All right, Arbor Day has been proclaimed April the 25th, 2025. Child Abuse Prevention Month. Welcome. Is it just you alone? We got a team. Welcome. Welcome. We're going to ask you two young ladies to say your name and your organization so that we can certainly welcome you. Very good. Thank you, ladies, for coming. This is certainly an issue that many of us in Lamarck are clearly interested in. We all want children to have safe homes, safe environments where they're not abused, neglected, exploited, or otherwise. And so we thank you all for coming to our city, and we welcome you all to our city. Office of the Mayor for the City of Lamarck proclamation. April is nationally recognized as Child Abuse Prevention Month, a time to raise awareness about the importance of preventing child abuse and neglect, and to encourage action within communities to protect our children. And whereas every child deserves to grow up in an environment free from abuse and neglect, where they are loved, nurtured, and supported in their physical, emotional, and psychological development. And whereas the theme for Child Abuse Prevention Month this year is Powered by Hope, Strengthened by Prevention, emphasizing the importance of hope and proactive efforts in preventing child abuse, and reinforcing the power of communities, families, and individuals working together to create a better future for children. And whereas preventing child abuse requires a collaborative effort between individuals, families, service providers, educators, law enforcement, and other community organizations, such as court-appointed special advocates, that's what CASA stands for, who consistently advocates for children and their safety. And whereas communities that invest in preventative measures and provide families with resources they need to raise healthy and resilient children help break the cycle of abuse, neglect, ensuring children have opportunities for success and happiness. Whereas organizations such as Bikers Against Child Abuse recognize that empowering individuals and families with knowledge, tools, and services they need is vital to breaking the cycle of abuse and providing a brighter, healthier future for all children. And now therefore, we, the mayor and city council, by virtue of our authority vested by the city of Lamarck, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the city of Lamarck, and who do hereby urge all citizens to participate in Go Blue Sunday, in the Go Blue Sunday campaign on April 27, 2025. In testimony whereof, witness my hand, the seal of the city of Lamarck, this 9th day of April 2025. Keith Bell, Mayor. Let's give a round of applause to show support for this very important month, a month that certainly we wish we would not have to acknowledge, but certainly a month that we must and most certainly acknowledge because our children's lives and safety hinges upon our awareness and our action. So ladies, it is customary for us to allow you to speak. I don't know if you all have planned to speak, but if you have, you are more than welcome.
Was not planning on it, so I'm just gonna wing it. So obviously CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, and we serve all of Galveston County, so we're definitely in your community. We serve 100% of the children that come into care through CPS care. So we're here, and in the least places that you expect, the children are suffering from abuse and neglect. So we just hope that you guys support us, continue to support us, and raise awareness.
Very good, very good.
You can definitely become a volunteer. We are always in need of volunteers since we are, like I said, appointed 100% to children coming into care. If you can reach out to us via our website, our Facebook, or myself.
We don't have to, because it's a meeting. But when she sits down, if she's willing, she will definitely inform you about.
Yes, we can get in touch.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Very good. The things about a public meeting. One of the things about a public meeting is that by law, those things that we are talking about have to be noticed so that if there are any interested parties that want to speak on those issues or at least be informed about those issues, have an opportunity to attend. And so there is limited back and forth outside of citizens' request for hearing, and there is zero back and forth unless it's a point of information on citizens' request for hearing. And so that's why I had to. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Earth Day. Clearly somebody's here for the earth. Look at you, Rashad. I know that you were gonna say the earth. Welcome. Hey, my friend. Good to see you again. All right. You all know Officer Hernandez, who is our code enforcement supervisor, as well as Rashad Loftus, who is, are you vice chair now? Or vice chair of our Keep Lamarck Beautiful commission. And so these are two appropriate young men to receive this proclamation. Office of the Mayor for the City of Lamarck proclamation, whereas Earth Day serves as a vital reminder of our shared responsibilities to safeguard the environment, conserve natural resources, and promote sustainable living practices within the City of Lamarck. And whereas the promotion of energy-saving measures contributes significantly to the environmental sustainability and economic prosperity, and enhances the quality of life by reducing pollution and conserving natural resources. Whereas adopting sustainable transportation practices, including walking, cycling, public transit, and electric vehicles helps to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, promotes cleaner air, and fosters healthier lifestyles among residents. Whereas emphasizing reduce, reuse, and recycle initiatives encourage responsible water management, minimizes our ecological footprint, and preserves our community's natural resource for future generations. Whereas the protection and advocacy of natural habitats and species such as the monarch butterfly is critical for maintaining biodiversity ecological balance, and the enduring beauty of our environment. Now, be it resolved, the city of Lamarck recognizes and supports the importance of environmentally responsible practices that sustain and improve our community and the world at large. Now, therefore, we, the mayor and council, by virtue of the authority vested by the city of Lamarck, Texas, do hereby proclaim April 22nd as Earth Day in the city of Lamarck and urge all citizens to actively participate in efforts toward energy conservation, sustainable transportation, recycling, and the protection of our natural habitats and species. In testimony whereof witness my hand, the seal of the city of Lamarck, this 11th day of April 2025, Keith Bell, Mayor. A round of applause for Earth Day. Speeches, anyone? Thank you, thank you.
On behalf of the Keep Lamar Beautiful Commission, I want to just encourage all the residents to do just that, keep Lamar beautiful.
Fair Housing Month. Anybody? Lieutenant?
No, sir.
Okay, just check. Fair Housing Month, April 2025, it's Fair Housing Month. Fair housing is a law that was enacted April 11th, 1968, with a goal of eliminating racial segregation and ending housing discrimination in the United States. National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Oh, there they are in the back. Look at that. Very good. Listen, I am definitely well aware that through my experiences in public safety, the vital role that dispatchers, telecommunicators play in the role of public safety and emergency operations. There were many days when I know personally, I could not see my hand in front of my face because I was in the middle of a fire, but I could hear you guys, well, not you guys, but maybe you guys. I can hear our telecommunicators guiding us through and helping us understand the conditions and making sure that we were as safe as we could be from where they were. And so I know personally, I owe a great debt of gratitude for what you do. It is a job that challenges your mental health because you're in four walls with no windows. You are hearing and imagining what's happening. And many of us know our imagination is always worse than the real experience. And so kudos to you, and we thank you. Office of the Mayor for the City of Lamarck proclamation, whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical service. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and the preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of the information obtained from the citizens who telephone the Lamarck Police Department. And whereas telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. Whereas telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information and ensuring their safety. And whereas telecommunicators of the Lamarck Police Department have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each telecommunicator has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now, therefore, we, the mayor and city council, by virtue of the authority vested by the city of Lamarck, Texas, do hereby proclaim April 13th through April 19th, 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, the city of Lamarck, and honor the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. Testimony whereof witness my hand, the seal of the city of Lamarck, this 11th day of April, 2025. Keith Bell, Mayor. Once again, Let's show our support by giving the telecommunicators of this city a round of applause.
Thank you, Mayor. You well stated, this is the nerve center. This is actually four of the eight that actually keep our offices safe 24/7. And I remember eons ago, we had a sheriff's department and every now and then they ask an officer, say, Officer Aragon, Deputy, get up here and work dispatch. I would never want to do that again in my whole career because that was the scariest thing I have ever done. I'd rather be in a firefight. So these four, under the leadership of Lieutenant Andrews, he's over the whole telecommunications section. Maya here is the lead telecommunicator. They have a job, a real important job, and I love every one of them, and I thank them for their job. So I don't even call them dispatchers. You dispatch cargo. They're telecommunicators. They dispatch, they task people to do a job, and I thank you.
Lieutenant Andrews, Ms. Maya, did y'all want to offer remarks? You said you had a lot to say, right? Oh.
I just came off the 12 hours.
Not much to say, but just greatly appreciate them, all the hard work they do, especially Maya, being the lead telecommunicator, make sure everything goes according to plan and really just reaches out to me whenever they need something, maybe need help with something inside or around dispatch. So thank y'all for everything you do and y'all are greatly appreciated.
Very good, good. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get in front of the microphone, because I'm sure Ms. Megan wants a picture. Oh, Chief, there you go, Chief. Very good. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the job you do. Sure. Work on awareness, that time. Monarch Butterfly Awareness Month. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Ms. Miller, for stepping forward to receive this proclamation. Office of the Mayor for the City of Lamar proclamation, whereas the monarch butterfly, and it gives the scientific name, is that right? I'm not gonna say that. Do you know how to say that? Okay. The monarch butterfly is an iconic species symbolizing the interconnectedness of our natural world, known for its remarkable migration spanning thousands of miles across North America. And whereas the population of monarch butterflies has significantly declined over the past two decades, due to habitat loss, climate change, and a decrease in the native milkweed plants essential for their reproduction, whereas the City of Lamar recognizes the essential role communities play in conserving and restoring habitat to support monarch butterflies and other pollinators, thereby enhancing the biodiversity and ecological health. Whereas initiatives such as the National Wildlife Federation Mayor's Monarch Pledge inspire cities to create and sustain habitats that support the life cycle of monarch butterflies, including planting native milkweed and nectar-producing plants. And whereas the City of Lamar is dedicated to educating residents about monarch conservation, encouraging community involvement, and establishing monarch way stations and pollinator-friendly gardens. Now be it resolved, the City of Lamar reaffirms its commitment to environmentally responsible practices that protect and enhance the monarch butterfly population and overall environmental health. And now therefore, we, the mayor and city council, by virtue of the authority vested by the City of Lamar, Texas, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Monarch Butterfly Awareness Month. In the City of Lamar, and urge all residents to actively participate in conservation efforts, the planting of native milkweed and nectar plants, and to support the habitat restoration for monarch butterflies and other vital pollinators. And testimony whereof witness my hand, the seal of the City of Lamar, this 9th day of April 2025, Keith Bell, Mayor. Again, Monarch Butterfly Awareness Month. Many of you know, some of you don't, the City of Lamar is a bird sanctuary. And so we have made contributions to nature. We have done our part in conservation efforts. And so this is certainly in line with who we are as a community. I'm excited about it, certainly excited about this proclamation. Absolutely.
Just one quick thing, this is the first time I think that we are doing the Mayor's Monarch Butterfly Pledge. We're excited about it. Coming up, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, April 22nd at Feigl Park, we are going to host the second graders from Haley Elementary. And we are going to be doing butterfly activities and having a monarch butterfly release. The second graders will be there, but the public is invited. So we hope y'all will join us for that.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. What day was that again, Miss?
April 22nd.
April the 22nd. What time again? 10 o'clock. Absolutely. Thank you for that. All right, Shannon. Good to see you, my friend. Work Zone Awareness Week.
At the library.
Office of the Mayor, City of Lamar proclamation, whereas Work Zone Awareness Week is observed annually to promote safe driving through construction zones and raise awareness of the importance of protecting workers and drivers alike in work zones. Whereas Work Zone Awareness Week serves as a critical reminder of the dangers faced by workers in construction zones, significantly making safe driving a priority. And whereas the theme for this year's Work Zone Awareness Week, Respect the Zone So We All Get Home, calls for an increased respect and vigilance when driving through work zones, ensuring that everyone, including drivers, passengers, and workers, can make it home safely. And whereas roadway construction and maintenance are essential to safety, efficiency, and quality of our transportation infrastructure, but work zones pose a significant risk to the men and women who work in them, as well as those who drive through these areas. And whereas thousands of workers are injured or killed each year in work zone crashes, thousands of motorists and passengers are also involved in accidents that can be avoided by simply following posted signs, reducing speed, and staying alert. And whereas by following posted signs, obeying traffic laws, and using caution when driving through work zones, every individual can play a part in ensuring the safety of road workers and themselves. Now, therefore, we, the mayor and city council, urge all citizens and businesses to join and hereby proclaim the week of April 21st through the 25th, 2025 as Work Zone Awareness Week in the city of Lamar, and encourage all motorists to respect the zone so we all get home. Let us commit to increasing awareness, improving safety, and protecting lives on our roadways by prioritizing safety in all work zones. And testimony whereof witness my hand, the seal of the city of Lamar this 11th day of April, 2025. Keith Bell, Mayor. Give a round of applause for Work Zone Awareness Week. The good news is that as you drive around the great city of Lamar, what you find are numerous work zones, because work is being done in our city, on our streets, on our sewer infrastructure, on our water infrastructure, and various construction sites are related to economic development. That's the good news. The challenge in that is to remember to respect those workers because they are focused on the job at hand and not necessarily focused on us as drivers, commuters. So if we would certainly be cognizant of that, yay, the work is being done, but also let's respect those people that are putting the work in. I'm going to ask my friend Shannon to come and give remarks on behalf of this proclamation, and then we will have a photo.
So I had some other guys that were going to be coming up here to help accept this award, but we had a double whammy at the end of the day. They're all working on 2 separate water leaks right now. And so hopefully they're participating in work zone awareness a little early and practicing safe work habits out there. One of the major cause of deaths in our industry is accidents happening at work zones. It is important when you're driving, you see in these areas to obey all the signs. If there's any flaggers, to go the directions that they're going. I know at times it's a little annoying having to go out of your way to get to even your house. And if you're like going down the road and But all that's put there for a reason, to protect our employees, to protect the people, and also to protect yourself. This is also a time that one of the few times we get to collaborate with other departments. We have asked called on the police department at times and let them know, hey, we're going through a water line break right now. We're working on these roads, and people are speeding by and they're not, so they come out and help us out. So it is one of those times where we get to collaborate. And so as we just remember work zone awareness, once again, as what was the saying? Oh yeah, respect the zone. And
we all get home.
Oh, we all get home. That's the most important thing. I tell my guys the same thing. It just the safer you are, you get to go home, and that's the most important thing to me. So. Oh yeah, right here. Very good. Thanks, Shannon. Is that it, Ms. Nance?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Those of you that have come to receive a proclamation and you have other business, this is normally the time that we allow for that dismissal, unless you want to stay to participate in the rest of our meeting. More than welcome. Good seeing you, lady. Thank you for what you do. While that's happening, let's move on.
That's Mayor.
Okay. That is Mayor Pro Tem is joining us via Zoom. And so I'm gonna try to allow him to get settled. Mr. Pritchett, can you ask him probably?
Mayor Pro Tem, can you hear us?
Okay. Is there any way for us to mute him? Okay, all right, let's proceed, see if we can get Ms. Nance.
We will also send him a message
Yeah.
for the camera, as well as if he has signal or something, to make sure that he is.
Let's be clear.
visible.
Let's be clear. Technically, he is not in this meeting because he has not declared himself on camera. Nothing against Joe. We're just trying to establish by law. He has not established himself on camera, and he has not shared his location.
Yes, until he is visibly present.
There are only four of us.
Yes.
Very good. Just want to be clear. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move to item 5, citizens' participation, limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments from the public will be heard at this time. Any person with city-related business who wish to speak, who has signed up to speak to council, may speak, limited to 3 minutes. If wishing to speak, give the mayor or the presiding officer your full legal name, your address, and item you wish to speak about. Compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the city may not deliberate on comments. Personal attacks will not be allowed. And personnel matters should be addressed to the city manager during normal business hours. If you're visiting with us via phone, you may press *6 to mute or unmute yourself. If you are visiting with us via smartphone, tablet, or computer on the Zoom platform, there should be a microphone icon that you might access to mute and unmute yourself. If you're visiting here with us in person, when your name is called, you may approach the podium at the center aisle and you will be heard. Avery, are there any persons online wishing to speak? Very good. Welcome. If you're online wishing to speak, please acknowledge.
It says call in user. We don't know who it is.
Very good. Let's move forward. We've given them 2 times. Let's move forward. Are there any other persons that you might identify, Avery, online wishing to speak? Very good. Rashard Loftus. Name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I would
Name
respectfully,
and address.
oh, yeah. Johnson Street, Lamarck, Texas, with Shore Loftus. I would respectfully ask that you all consider, your security, policy here at the chamber. We've had several incidents, and we know people are known to, pack weapons and that, and I would ask that even yourself as a council and staff, follow this type of, procedure where we have to come through the metal detector, that you all would start or implement a plan that you as well would do the same thing to further protect us as citizens from anything that may or may not transpire. We want to be protected just as well as you all want to be protected from us. We want to be protected from you. So respectfully, put that in your plan that you all as a council come through the metal detectors with your bags and whatever you bring in here to this council, so we as citizens are protected. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Loftus. One more time, Avery, is there any person online wishing to speak? Hearing none, Kiara, one more time, did anyone else fill out an,
Yes. Sorry, I thought you'd like.
That's okay. That's okay. Brandon Kentowski. Welcome, Mr. Brandon. Name and address for the record, please.
Brandon Kentowski. I live on Oak Lawn.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me speak. Seen a lot of foolishness online. I've just gotten online and seen Facebook. I don't think it's very becoming of anybody to be the name callers, to be accusers, and all that type of stuff. There's something much bigger that's happening in the city other than just us bickering back and forth of what we need to be done. There's something else that's coming that's worse than COVID. There's problems that we have and they're starting to poke up. We need to solve these problems amongst ourselves. Have respect for one another. Have mercy on one another. This wasn't in my speech today. I was going to talk about my problems with my neighbor stealing from me, harassing me, playing the music all loud, and the cops not doing nothing about it. Demeaning, condescending, saying, well, you shut your door, I can hear from over 50 feet. Playing the devil's advocate. Oh, well, that truck going by is over 50 feet. Is louder than their music. It's not the case. And that wasn't the time.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm looking at you. Yeah, you're fine.
I've lost faith in the system that is supposed to protect me. If I call the police for somebody breaking the law and nothing happens to them, they just keep breaking the law. So I have dozens of recorded incidences of me videoing them breaking the law, of the police saying it's okay with me, knowing it's over 50 feet, playing the devil's advocate. So I've lost faith in the system, only to get online and see what's going on here. I don't know who's right. I don't know what you're saying is right, what they're saying is right. I don't know who does what. Okay. But I know there is a evil, a darkness that is upon the city and the town in the United States. I find it kind of interesting that we open with the prayer and then we turn around and pledge allegiance to a flag. Pledge my allegiance to only one, not a flag. I don't stand for that. I will not stand for that. So I hope you can feel the weight of my worries. Psalm 119:53. Marque was founded in 1953. That's why I said it. I'll just read that one. Horror hath taken a hold of me because of the wicked that forsake thy law. Ain't no laws of man gonna save us. Ain't no language of legalese gonna save us.
Mr. Kentowski, that was your 3 minutes.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Jacqueline Parent. Welcome, Ms. Jacqueline. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Perrin, 1304 Rodora. I am not Jackie Smith at 1304 Rodora. As somebody has made up a Facebook account with my picture and my house, and I have a great suspicion who it was. I will be making a report on it. And I will go to the police station tomorrow. I'll make a report on it. I am sick, so that's why I'm wearing the
Yes.
mask, so you don't get on Facebook and make fun of me. And I'm also disturbed. James, Kimberly, Keith, every one of you have been attacked. Every single one of you. Nothing has happened. So how am I going to feel safe when I go fill out this report tomorrow? When my house is a target.
Yes,
Well, this is where I made my home. And because of that, I have become a target for his hate. He spreads his mouth through that. They look at me, my house. It's a sanctuary for butterflies. It's on the corner. People come by my house to get the plants for the butterflies. Now they're going to come to my house with I don't know what. Because I'm not the hate. I'm the ones that took the kids off the library and gave them a home, the homeless children. I feed the homeless. I'm not the hate. Stop with the hate. Don't laugh at me, Joseph Lowry. I told you I did not want to see you get in trouble. I don't want you in trouble.
Ms. Perrin.
I know you won't.
Ms. Perrin,
Because you're above the
Joseph,
law.
you cannot respond, Joseph. Ms. Perrin, you got to
sorry.
direct that towards
I'm
the entire council. Yes, ma'am.
Because he feels like he's above the law here. I only have 2 more requests. One, he's a felon on city council. State law requires you cannot be a felon on city council or any office in the state of Texas without a pardon from the governor. And I guarantee you, I've already looked him up. There is no pardon from Washington State to allow him to sit there. Secondly, it's in our charter. Also want to know why y'all haven't, where you said you were going to vote to put a subpoena to investigate why that was dropped. I'm furious about that. I don't feel safe here. I'm seriously thinking about moving back home to Austin or somewhere else because I don't feel safe here anymore. It's a small city. And when people start targeting each other, you know, I leave my doors unlocked, Keith.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't lock them. Now I feel like I have to lock them. I've never locked my doors.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. Your time is up, Ms. Jacqueline. Thank you.
Point of information, Mayor.
Joseph, what is the nature? You cannot give us a point of information. What is it concerning? What is the information concerning?
An allegation that she made.
An allegation against you?
Yes, sir.
Proceed.
I'm not a felon. You're more than welcome to report it to the district attorney's office with the other 100 people that have. And I wouldn't be sitting here if I was a convicted felon.
Okay.
So
There you go. Was that it?
that's it, sir.
All right, thank you. Ms. Perrin, you have been heard and we thank you for your comments. We're going to move on now. Item 6, minutes. Gus, if you don't mind, I'll take all these together. 6-1, special financial retreat. 4-8-2025, 6-2, special joint minutes. 4-7, 2025, 6-3, special city council minutes. 3-10, 2025, 6-4, special council minutes. 2-24, 2025. I will entertain a motion.
Are we able to discuss this?
We're going to. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to accept the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any amendments, any deletions, or omissions?
Yes, sir. There was some talk about I can't remember, if it's a $2 million or $2.5 million that was from a certificate of obligation from, I think it was from the original purchase of the ABC buildings. Was that, anyways, there was talk about that, and I just wanted to make sure I didn't see it in here. Where was that money from? And it can be utilized for a police station. And I just wanted to get that correct.
What is your amendment? You're asking to amend the minutes, so you have to have something to amend them with, yes?
So I guess what I'm looking for is the information that was discussed about, I can't remember, it's $2 or $2.5 million. And the information can be used for a police station.
I think I know what he's referring to. I think he's referring to the original bond, which the original amount was 6 million. The 2.5 to is about what sits left. And so what those monies specifically for were the ABC building properties as well as the public safety building. So it was multiple projects written into that bond. The improvements to public safety buildings, to municipal facilities as a whole, as well as the ABC building property on Texas Avenue. I can't remember the address off the top of my head. To include a recreational center as well as a community center, all in that bond. If that's what you're referring to, Ms. Turner, is that 2018 or 2020?
Can I ask what date we're referring to?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
let's slow this train down a little bit. JB, I'm gonna let you
Okay.
bring her in.
Sure.
I think what we need to do is, I think Mr. Lara is asking that this be added to the minutes. Is that what you're asking?
Which date there's four?
Most
This is
likely
for
the financial retreat.
Retreat.
Thank
The financial retreat, I believe Mr. Lara is asking for the information about the certificate of obligation. Mr. Lara, the certificate of obligation, right?
Yeah,
You want to know the amount, well, you want to add the amount of that obligation
correct,
and the usages for that certificate of obligation.
correct,
You want to add that to the minutes.
correct. Now, if it was for a public safety building then, or we can still use it for the police department currently.
Okay, but in the minutes, we can't
So
decipher that. Hold
Okay.
on, James. We getting way in the weeds. This is just minutes. And you're asking to amend the minutes by adding those figures into it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's make sure is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
That is an amendment. Is there a second to that amendment to add those figures?
got a question about that. Are you asking to amend it or are you asking us for it to be put on a later agenda to give further clarification?
Well, we're at minutes amendment.
that's-
So that's the only
yeah.
thing he can ask for right now.
That's where I'm trying to get further
Yeah,
clarification.
the only
for
thing that-
myself, because if it is going in the minutes, yes, I'll second it, but
Okay.
if it's,
That's the only
if
thing he
it's-
can do.
if it's if we need it on an agenda later, I'd rather not second it and then use it at the end when we're asking for agenda items. because-
You simply just want this in the minutes, right?
Correct.
Okay. So he's made an amendment. Hold on a minute, Ms. Turner. Mr. Lowry's made an amendment. Are you seconding that amendment?
Yes, I'll
That amendment?
second that.
Let-
Wait,
now-
pause. We can't, there's already a motion on the floor.
And I asked if there's any amendments.
Right, so they would have to walk back the first motion because you can't start a new motion while there's already one.
We're not starting a new motion.
He would have to amend it by motion, wouldn't he?
He's asking to make an amendment to the minutes. Now, I'm gonna step back because I don't care either way and let you and Gus tell us how to do it because it's
Yeah.
6:47.
I got you.
Whatever you want us to do, we'll do very quickly.
Can we have them walk back the first one and then we approve, if we're gonna make amendments? we
That's
just approve
fine.
it.
That's fine. I can do it that way. Who made the motion?
Make
Councilman
the
Ross.
motion
Can
to
you
accept
take
the
that-
minute. I'll rescind my motion.
Mr. Lowry, can you make a motion to approve the minutes with that amendment?
Make a motion to approve the minutes with the addition of the $2.5 million.
Do you want to second that, Mr.
Second.
Ross? All right, now we're here. Are we good? Are we legal? All right, now, Mr. Pritchett, will you ask Ms. Turner to come and read those exact figures into the record so that
Absolutely.
we can
So what we are referring to are those certificates of obligation of the series of 2018. The original principal amount was in the amount of $6 million. The use of those proceeds were used for the construction and equipment of a public safety building, the acquisition, construction, renovation, and equipment of a municipal complex located at 4916 FM 1765, Lamarck, Texas 77568, to include municipal offices, a recreational facility, and a community center, as well as the renovation and equipment of municipal buildings throughout the city, and the cost of professional services incurred in connection therewith. Now, as far as the amounts left over in that 2018, Ms. Turner, those are?
I was just looking at this the other day. So as of April 11th, we have $2,666,037.84.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. That's
Ms.
been,
Turner.
thank you. That's been, that is the amendment. You're good with the amendment?
Perfect.
You good with it, Mr. Ross?
Sir.
All right. Any further discussion? We shouldn't have discussion on minutes anyway, right, Gus? So we'll just go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Very good. We are now at item 7, public hearing, ordinance number letter O-2025-0005, amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Lamarck, Texas by amending Chapter 42, impact fees, providing rules and regulations governing the same within the city, making other provisions related to the subject and providing an effective date. Before I close the regular meeting, Ms. Nance, have we had a chance to reconnect with Mayor Pro Tem Compion?
No, sir.
Very good. We'll proceed and check back later. I am closing this regular scheduled meeting at 6:50, and we're opening our public hearing at 6:50. Are there any persons online wishing to speak to item 7.1? Any persons online wishing to speak to item 7.1? Hearing none, are there any persons in person with us today wishing to speak to item 7.1? Any persons here today with us physically wishing to speak to item 7.1? Hearing none, we will close the public hearing at 6:51 and open the regular meeting back at 6:51 and move to item 8, old business. Items presented to council for discussion and possible action. 8.1, naming policy. Ms. Nance, before we get into this, is there any way you can add 5 minutes to that clock? Council, we're going to take 5 minutes to discuss. This is the way we want to handle business. After those 5 minutes, if we want to continue, I'm going to need a council member to request that we continue for an additional 5 minutes. And at that point, the horse has been beaten to death. We ought to have been reading this material, speaking with our constituents over the weekend. We ought to know what we should be doing right now. 5 minutes. Who brought this to us? That would be you, Ms. Nance. Go.
Hi, I brought this because later on in the agenda, you have a request from, I believe, the Parks Board to name a park. And I know that we've a few different times kind of looked at this policy. This is the updated version from the last time we spoke that gave council the final authority. I know there is a committee that it goes before first, and then it comes back to the council for final authority. The only thing that is missing in this draft is the fee, if there will be fees associated with this project, which I need direction from the council, as in if we're changing street names or anything like that, there will be fees associated with that. If you want administrative fees associated with that, what that looks like. Typically the naming policy, just from what we have in kind of an updated version of what our current policy is there is a petition process. There's a distance required for all of that as well. That's included in the policy, but it's really just getting a final approval for what the council would like this to look like so you can bring it back as an ordinance.
Very good. Does anyone have any questions or comments about this naming policy? I need to see your hand before we call on you. Anybody on this side?
No, I've
Well,
read it.
hold on, Miss.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna get it right. Did you want to, are you gonna want to speak as well?
No, sir.
All right, Miss, you were gonna go first anyway, Miss Yancey. I just wanted to get a count on who was speaking. Go ahead, Miss Yancey.
No, I've read it, and you've changed it significantly to a best practice, basically. So now you're just wanting us to put the administrative cost to it, or you're going to suggest that?
I don't have a recommendation for cost. It was a question of, is that what you all want to do? You can even ask for it. You can even just state for it to be the true cost. Plus, I believe our current schedule of fees, Mr. Hernandez is not with us anymore. I believe there's a general either $50 or $100 administrative fee that goes,
250.
something like that. You could just apply that plus the true cost if that's something you want to do. It's totally up to this council.
True cost is what, Kiera? Is that the cost that it would, that the city would incur, street signs, addresses?
Correct. And each street is going to be different. It's going to cost way more to convert Cedar to something than it would Avenue D. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could just kind of be what that's necessary.
What are the cities around us doing?
Each city has a different process. The larger cities have a very, very high amount.
True cost?
A true cost plus.
Is each city around us at least doing true cost?
At least, yes.
Okay.
That's why at what it turns out to be is true cost plus an administrative
Okay.
fee.
Okay. Me personally, I would like to be consistent with the rest of those cities in our county. If true cost is the way that they are handling this, that would be, my personal vote is to add true cost.
Mhm.
Anyone else before we vote? Very good. I am suggesting that we add true cost. We don't have to add true cost, doesn't matter. But we do have to make a motion for approval, disapproval, or table.
I move that we approve.
Are you gonna add my true cost?
Oh, yes, with true cost.
Don't say it's mayor's
I'm
true
sorry.
cost, because later on, I'm gonna blame it on you.
Okay,
I'm-
I move that we approve with, true costs and administrative fees.
Very good. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Let's move now to back to item 8.2. Ordinance number letter O-2025-0005, amending the Code of Ordinances for the City of Lamarck, Texas by amending Chapter 42, impact fees, providing rules and regulations governing the same within the city, making other provisions related to the subject, and providing an effective date. This is brought to us by the engineering department. I see my friend Brent. Welcome, Brent. I see Shannon. Welcome, Shannon, again. Gara, let's start with 5 minutes with an additional 5.
Good evening, Mayor, and good evening, Council.
Good evening, Brent. Good to see you again, my friend.
This is a presentation of the update to the impact fee and the amendment to include properties that were initially omitted from the impact fee study. And also to present the amount of the impact fee, which we presented, I think it's a couple months ago. We went through the report and the impact fee we're recommending based on the study. Just want to note that this amount is already discounted or reduced by 50% of what the recommendation is. The law allows us to reduce that amount by 50%. And the recommended impact fee that we have, or we're recommending, is $8,448.70. The impact fee for water is $3,593.41.
3,000 what?
$3,593.41. And the impact fee for wastewater is $4,855.29.
So you just basically broke down the 84
That's
into
correct.
water and
Water
wastewater.
and wastewater. that's
Gotcha,
correct.
gotcha.
Because some people don't know that it's a combination of the two.
I
Very
believe on
good.
the update, Brent also included on the impact fee study revision update. It has the 2025 updated impact fees of most of our surrounding cities and the cities in the 4B area that are seeing the most economic growth.
Say that again, JB?
I could.
The
go
other
over it if you
cities
want me to.
that Brent included all the other cities and their impact fees breakdown as well for water, sewer, and their citywide total. For all the other cities in Galveston County and surrounding aspects of greater Houston that are seeing the most economic growth, like the city of Lamar. You'll see that in your packet as the 2025 updated impact fee survey.
What page are you on, JB?
Are you on the packet?
What do you mean I'm on?
So right here.
Oh, yeah. You mean on the, yeah,
Mhm.
I got you. Yeah, what page are you in the packet?
25 updated impact based already.
I didn't go that way.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm all the way in the middle of it now. I can't.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
Is it past the pictures?
It's
Yeah.
past the study, the line item past the study. If you, in the actual agenda, 2025 up the impact fee survey.
At least on this.
I thought I-
That's separate.
It's, super.
This is okay.
There it is. There it is. I got it. Yeah. All right. Council, do we have any questions for Brent?
This is the last time, dear Lord.
Ross, anyone else?
We've beaten this horse how many times? It's.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to beat it again. Ms. Yancey, did you have anything?
Not at the moment.
Ms. Lowry?
I think we're to attract business, I think this is gonna be a deterrent. Look at some of the booming areas, and I know because I work in them on a daily basis. I think we're moving in the wrong direction if we're trying to attract homes and businesses. But
Yeah. Were you done?
yes, sir.
Hey, listen, Brent. It takes a person like Brent to get me and Mr. Lowry to be on the same side. But we're getting ready. You ready? We're getting ready to hammer. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, Brent, in all seriousness, I do understand the effort. But I think I am, in all seriousness, I am in the mindset that this is a tad bit too high for us. I see Pearland at 92. I see League City at 14,000. Those are larger cities, right, with more amenities. The rest of the cities, Texas City, 66, Iowa Colony, 63, Galveston, our neighbor to the south. Let's do 5 more minutes, Ms. Nance. 7,000. Friendswood, 5,300. Sugarland, 66. And so I don't know that we go all the way to 84. You're saying we're at 37 now?
Yes, that was what it was. That's the
Which is
last
the
one.
lowest.
Yeah, we are the lowest. I think that perhaps, you know, I'm sorry. Oh,
37.7.
yeah. Oh, thank you. I don't know that we go all the way to 84. Do you have another recommendation? Is this time sensitive?
Yes, it is.
It's time sensitive.
This update is done every 5 years. And I think I've been working on this for maybe the last year.
You worked
And by
hard
the
on it
time,
too.
by the time we decide what it's gonna be, I hate to say, but we might be doing another update rather than approving the amount. But in all seriousness, Mayor, this is what the numbers show in terms of what's happening in the city of Lamarque. And this is already a 50% discount on what what we actually found out. Because the law allows us to discount that at 50%. I just want to stress that, for the development within the city, if the monies don't come from impact fees, the city is gonna have to find that money somewhere else, and it may be at the burden. It may be a burden to taxpayers as opposed to the developers who come in. The other way to look at it is you look at the surrounding cities, and I understand the fact that there were probably more, well, maybe better. You think the cities around us are better, but if not Lamarque, then maybe the more expensive cities. And if I'm a developer, then, if I'm getting this, why go to somebody who charges more? If somebody really wants to develop in the city of Lamarque, then they will do it.
Yeah.
Impact fees is probably not gonna deter them.
Well, that's what you say as an engineer, but the home builders that build homes in our city has suggested that their margins are so thin that many of them, if we move to 84, will pack up shop and go to Texas City, Iowa Colony, Galveston, Friendswood, right? You get my point. And so now, so do we want to deter development and slow, if not stop, the amount of rooftops that are being raised in our city at the detriment of tax relief, right? The more we have that pay into the system, right, the lower rate that we would have to pay. So we don't want to stop development because these are our neighbors and these are folks that are going to help us carry this burden, right? But I think that 84 is just a tad bit too high. I would feel better if we were somewhere between Iowa Colony and the city of Galveston. I would feel better. That's just me. I am prepared to not vote in the affirmative on this tonight because I think that 8,400 is a problem. I would vote 63, 64. That's an arbitrary number. 65, that's another arbitrary number.
You can make an amendment, Mayor, for it to be lower than the
Yes.
84, but you cannot make it higher than the 84.
Than
I just want to
84,
make that clear, as well as the grandfathered clause. Someone, Gus or Brent, as far as they have 1 year after this is passed for all the development and plats that are currently underway to be under the impact fees as they currently sit, I believe, for another 12 months. And then at that point, any of the new development and new plats that would come out after that, they would switch over to whatever amount that council deems the impact fees to be appropriate.
Okay.
And also, just to reiterate, this is a recommendation based on the data that we have. However, council has the authority to make a recommendation that's not based on what's here, and based on the information that you have with regards to developers. You have the authority to do that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Very good.
So if you want to lower it, then hey, council has the power to do that.
Very good. I see Mayor Pro Tem Compion with us. His camera's on. Can you hear me, Mayor Pro Tem? You have to unmute yourself, sir. Okay, before you.
I keep trying, I can hear you.
But before you.
And I am at,
But
I
Joe.
talked for the information, but I'll repeat it again. I am at, the address is 900 North Shoreline Drive in Corpus Christi, Texas, 78401.
Very good. Let the record reflect that Mayor Pro Tem has joined the meeting at 7:07. Go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, well, thank you, and great difficulty getting in. But I speak against actually taking any action against impact fees. The last session that I was in here really enlightened me in terms of the whole direction. There is such a and we were talking about bond council and issues of development within the city infrastructure, things of this nature. But both with the pending legislation in Texas, as well as the national picture right now, there is such, what's the best word I can say? There is such discomfort at all levels of anything in terms of increases. And I share your view that, especially the developers, Mayor, I've heard from them, you probably have heard from them, they are significantly distressed at this point, both in terms of credit that's going to be available to them and the builders as well. And tariffs are also having an impact upon building materials as well too. So I just in general would prefer that at this point, we just pass at this time and take our time to see where both the national and state picture is going on.
When you say
That's
pass
all.
it, are you speaking about passing it as is, or are you speaking about amending the impact fee?
No, I'm talking about just keep maintaining it at this point. We can bring it back again as we get a better idea in terms of what's happening nationally and locally with regard to on the finance side.
Yeah. Council, it's our pleasure. We're gonna go and vote. We're not gonna talk about it all night long. If we're voting for it at 84, I'm gonna vote against that. I'm personally willing to add, to go up to 63, 65, to give a little help, to provide a little more relief for the residents of Lamarck. But I can't shut down personally, as mayor, shut down development in our city. And we have been, well, let me not speak for, sounds like Joe has been told. I've been told, sounds like Mr. Lowry has heard it, as well. This is detrimental, from a home building perspective. Even though it might be necessary from a municipal perspective. We don't have any homes, any folks building homes. Then in essence, we perhaps don't even have a city. You need people to live in the city in order for it to be. So I will entertain a motion.
I have a point of information.
Yes, ma'am.
So based on your survey, you're saying that the 84 that you're proposing has to do with getting the correct infrastructure, the correct, because we know that's a problem here and has been for quite some time. And I know that was a deterrent for me when I moved away because of the piss poor infrastructure that we have here. So you, as an engineer, are saying that you're projecting that if we raise it, that'll be better for the future for the next 5 years. Is there any, and I guess let me ask JB, is there any where it says we can't come back within a year or two to look at impact fees, but is it that once we vote on it, they stand for 5 years or a period of time?
Well, you just do an update every 5 years. It's not an amendment to it. You're required by law to do the update. However, with everything else.
I think Councilwoman's question is, if we wanted to do it inside of the 5 years, let's say a year and a half from now.
Yeah, you could do your amendments to
You-
your ordinance.
You have to do it at least every 5 years if you
Well,
wanted to
well,
do
it's the update. The
Correct,
update
correct.
has to happen
Right.
every 5 years. However, amendments to your ordinance, that's a totally different thing.
So so I guess what we're trying to ascertain from Gus, I guess, and then you, Brent, is if we act tonight and then a year from now, we want to act differently. Maybe we did our due diligence and we want to raise those fees. Could we still do it at that time?
It's gonna take an amendment to the ordinance to do that. And-
Because we're making a big deal out of about 5 years, and
you're gonna have to do an amendment to the ordinance to do that, and you.
We could do that at any time,
So
yes?
we could just revisit it. in 4 months, 6
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is an update, which we have to do technically every 5 years. And, well, we just lost almost 1 year, which means in another 4 years, we're gonna do an update again. Now, that's not changing it, it's an update. We look at everything that's happening around us. And if, hey, there's no development, then more than likely you may see that number go down because the statistics will show it.
Yeah.
There's no.
If that's the case, Brent, I heard you hold us accountable. You said it like 3 or 4 times that we're about a year behind. So let's. Here's the deal, council, what we can do is we can, Mayor Pro Tem has made the suggestion. Sounds like we can, increase these, through an amendment according to Gus at any time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, y'all are free to take, you can pick, I know Councilmember Lowry, you and the mayor were talking about 6,700 around there. You could pick what's currently in effect now. I think the cap was about 8,400, whatever it is. And then we can come back, look at the numbers and y'all can make adjustments if you see fit.
Yeah, no, now that we have the freedom to operate inside of 5 years, I would suggest that we simply, like Mayor Pro Tem suggested, hold what we got and then allow for Brent to come back with maybe a different recommendation, because I don't think, while I think it's too, okay, let me finish, Brent. While I think 84 is too high, I don't want to arbitrarily just say 63 just because of it. You were going to say something?
Yes, so my recommendation is always based on the statistics and what's happening. I don't see the recommendation changing based on the information that we have. If I do that, then I'm not doing the update within the 5-year period. Now I'm taking information past the 5-year period
Can't do that.
to actually.
Okay, well, how
So
about this?
that's why we're gonna make a recommendation to council. However, if council feels like it's not for the good of the residents in the city, then council within themselves could determine, I think that's too high like you're doing. I think this number is a better number, and that's fine. That's totally fine. It doesn't hold anyone responsible. I mean, you're making a decision for the good of the citizens and
Right.
for developers, and that's totally fine. I'm not holding you to it.
Right. So let's do this. And I get why you would be hesitant. Joe, okay. I get why you would be hesitant, and then we really care, are going to bring this to the board after we hear from Joe, and I make a request of JB. I hear why you're hesitant, because you're on certain time frames, and you can't just come back and arbitrarily give us updated recommendations. But Joshua can.
He can.
And so what I'm going to ask Joshua is, if we vote to hold what we got now, I'd like for you, council, without objection, for you to work with Shannon to give council some sort of an educated number, so that we don't just arbitrarily tonight pass a number simply because it's less than 84. Could you do that for us?
Can I make one more point there?
Brent, let me get Mayor Pro Tem in, and then I'll add you in, and then we got to vote. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir. Just 2 quick items. This is something, this particular session is I'm at, I'm learning quite a bit. With regard to impact fees, and Gus, you may have to come in on these things, but council was talking about the fact that they're seeing in Texas where communities are experiencing growth, that we have developers that are pushing back against, and builders against, impact fees. And according to the information that was shared, and I'm just passing it on, if a developer or a builder feels that the impact fee is not valid, they're able to bring legal challenges with regard to the validity of the impact fee ordinance. I'm looking at my notes, fee calculation methodologies, and the proper use of the fee revenues. And then also, and I looked at our particular form that was developed, there are exemptions, and I want to make sure that we're clear on this. There are exemptions for impact fees to be in effect waived for or credits available to developers if they come in and assist the cities in developing of a public safety facility or other there are options out there. And that's what I'd like to hear more of. Let's delve a little bit more into that and what are other methodologies that can be utilized. And let's hold it now and then get this further information. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
So I just want to add, that's my final point, that if some of these areas that we're trying to develop require developing during that time with the lower impact fee, I just want council to be aware that it will have to be paid using impact fees. And if enough impact fees is not collected, then you'll have to supplement that with something else to
Sure.
develop this area. I just want to make that.
No, I understand. You're looking out for us in that way. I get it, and I appreciate that. I will entertain a motion, council. We can go with 84. We can go with a number between 37 and 84, or we can stay at 37 and allow Mr. Pritchett to bring us back with Shannon, do some work on this to bring us back probably a more palatable number that our community can live with. I'll entertain that motion. Mr. Lowry.
If he could, while he's looking into this stuff, if you could find out what city or cities have the lowest impact fees. And I'm
in the county
or well, like with what's listed here, I would check with them, or even in the county, maybe do tri-county area to see what's reasonable. Based off my workload, I'm saying Iowa Colony is probably our biggest workload, and it's the lowest, so that's kind of something to go off of. But do your research and see what you come up with if that's what the council decides.
Very good. Were you done, Mr. Lowry?
Yes, sir.
I will entertain a motion 84, something between 84 or 37.
Mayor, I'd like to move that we hold the rate at this time and continue to examine and research an appropriate rate under the present conditions that we find ourselves with regard to the economy.
Very good. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm abstaining for more information.
Let the record reflect that any abstention is a no vote. Just telling people what happens when you abstain.
I need more information.
There are 3 4s, 1 against, and 1 abstention, which is a no vote. Thank you, Brent, for your work. I kid with you, man, because you're a good sport.
No,
but I enjoy having these conversations with you.
That's fine.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Shannon. 9-2. Oh, wait a minute. 9-1. I'm sorry. New business. Items presented to council for discussion and possible action. 9-1 ordinance number letter O-2025-0006, approving the rezoning of property from District L1, light industrial, to R1, single family residential, currently zoned for commercial commonly known as ABST 2 SF Austin, Sir Lot 57, Gilbert and Nelson, unrecorded sub parcel ID number 132682, otherwise known as Gus. Hold on just a minute. I'm getting ready to ask him. Shane, are you gonna ask? Can we take all these at once?
Yeah, I was gonna ask
Yeah.
if we could.
Yeah. Can we take all these at once, Gus? These are the same.
Yes, they are. The reason they're broken up, Mayor, just for everybody's clarification, is because they were broken up at P and Z. So we just wanted to be consistent.
Yeah,
So
let's
this is not cut you off.
Yeah.
This is, that's what this is.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna read, council, without objection. I'm gonna read all of them so that we can act on them at one time.
Can we just read after you read the first one, read just the lot numbers?
That's
One,
fine.
three,
That's-
two,
that's
six,
fine.
two,
You sure?
three,
Yeah.
eight.
Okay, let's go. Gilbert and, so we were on Austin Sir Lot 57, Gilbert and Nelson, unrecorded sub parcel. I identified the parcel ID in 9-2. This would be ordinance number letter O-2025-0007, and that is ABST to SF Austin Sir Lot 58 in Gilbert and Nelson unrecorded. The parcel ID is 13268393, ordinance number letter O dash 2025 dash 0008. This is ABST to SF Austin Sir Lot 59 Gilbert and Nelson, parcel ID 132684. 94, ordinance number letter 2025 dash 0009. ABST to SF Austin Sir Lot 60 Gilbert and Nelson unrecorded, parcel ID number 132685. I will entertain a motion.
So did planning and zoning say yes or no on it? Because I'd like to at least know what they said.
Ms. Nance.
Give me 1 second. I do believe they approved all of these, but I just need to verify really.
Mr. Ellison, if you're on, can you confirm that one way or another?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, they were all approved.
Jason
Mr.
Ellison, who's
Oh,
on?
Ellison. Okay, welcome, Mr. Ellison. Very good. Is that an answer for you?
That's
Yes.
perfect answer.
I need a motion.
Move to rezone these from light industrial to residential, single family residential.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 9.5, ARPA purchasing, approving the use of ARPA funds, American Rescue Plan funds, to purchase canines. Canines.
Police
Chief,
Department?
Chief, is that you or is that Chief Wagner or? But that's why you the chief.
What this is more than anything else is the ARPA expenditures that we have talked about and discussed for some time. Obviously, there were a breakup of those different ARPA monies that we went over either the last meeting or the meeting before last of that report. What this is putting language to expense those ARPA funds specifically for the expansion of the K-9 division of the Lamarque Police Department in the amount of around to exceed no more than $41,250 that was set aside for the ARPA purchase to go towards our K-9 division for the Lamarque Police Department. That can include the dogs, training, and equipment that incurs with those expenses.
So we have 2 dogs.
No.
Yes,
you have 2 now.
and this will be the 3rd dog. Okay.
Possibly,
Maybe 2.
maybe 2, depending on how much juice we can squeeze from the lemon. But we're hoping if all goes according.
This might be 3 and 4.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
we'll
sir.
have 4.
K-9 dogs for the police department, 1 for each shift.
Do we have 4 trained K-9 officers?
We would have 4 at that point.
Okay.
What this would incur would be the expensive, not only for the dog, but for the training of Chief Aragon's designatee to be the K-9 officer of that, to go forward and to get that training with the K-9 dog itself. So that would include those.
I'll ask you because I want a quick answer.
Sure. Wrong person to ask. Sorry.
So just for us, so that the residents can understand.
Yes, sir.
We have 2 dogs now.
Yes, sir.
What happens if there is a stop and we need one of those K-9 units and those K-9s and their handlers are off duty out of the city? Do we then call them back into the city?
Chief Aragon.
Yes, sir.
I believe so.
That
Yes,
could
sir.
happen.
Yeah.
So you're detaining a subject on the side of the road, which I'm just trying to understand.
We usually other cities, we work with them on a mutual assistance, but if they can't be reached and must come.
Then we have to call
They'll
somebody.
call them in.
The first thing we do is try to see if Texas City Hitchcock,
Correct.
somebody around us has an on-duty K-9 unit.
Yes, sir.
I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
and other cities do the same thing. They'll
Yes, sir.
call us if they need it.
Yes, sir. Understood. Any other questions on 9.5?
My issue.
Did
Chief,
you have something? I see you. I see you. Go ahead, Ms. Chance. Did you have something?
You
Hold on.
Oh.
I'm just asking. did you-
I
No,
yield.
no. Good.
I
ahead.
yield.
No, you're fine. I'm just trying to see who wants to speak. Go ahead, Ms. Chance.
Chief, my question, and I guess to you and to JB, is that I'm a little concerned that you want 2 more dogs when there have been incidences with the 2 dogs we have and some lack of training. So if we do agree to this, I'm going to humbly request that we have adequate training on how to handle the dog, because there've been some questionable bites of people when they are getting arrested. And you know, that's happened twice already just in the short time that I've been here. So I would want that we have put more money into the training part
Sure.
of how to deal with those dogs.
Yeah, there's an excessive amount of training that they receive. But we really should have 1 dog, 1 canine and handler per shift.
Very sure.
And
That's the best way.
I believe the dog that you were referring to, Miss Yancey, is the one that is gone to be with Jesus. As well as the 2 canine that are currently serving the Lamarque Police Department are our newer additions. And fortunately for us, we have not had any incidents
Like that.
like that. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anyone, did you have something?
Yeah, and also, there's a time limit. Once somebody's detained on the side of the road, you have X amount of minutes to get the stop finished. Is that correct? So
Correct.
if we don't have a canine accessible, then we're potentially sending who knows what down the road.
Correct.
Mr. Ross, do you have anything? Mr. Compion, you good?
I have 2 quick items.
Go
For
ahead.
clarity, I'm following up on your question. I didn't quite understand that answer. We had originally allocated in the MOU or our acceptance in December of the purchases, I recall 2 dogs. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, so 2 dogs. And this says 3?
No, sir.
Okay.
It just said,
Oh,
it just has a dollar amount to it, Mayor Pro Tem. It has a dollar amount attached to it due to any unforeseen expenses. We didn't want to word that because the MOU only grants us a certain amount for that from ARPA. And so what that would allow is for us to strive to get 2 dogs that would add the other 2 to the shifts that do not have them.
Okay, so there's not any changes in MOU
No, sir.
on the finance side. It's just in terms of how you're allocating the amount. Would that be accurate to say?
That would be accurate. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, thanks for the clarity.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Let's bring this one into the barn, ladies and gentlemen. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Item 9.6, Saltgrass Park name change. Consider a name change from Saltgrass Park to West Side City Park, Parks Board and Public Works. Here's a question before we even get into this. And I'm so serious. Because I may have forgotten. Who, at some point, did we vote to officially name it Saltgrass Park?
I think it came with the development.
I think
developer
that's what
did
it
that.
was just referred to.
No,
as.
I think that is a reference name, that there is no
So
documentation.
there's no,
that says you named it.
so there is no reason for this to be Saltgrass Park name change if we haven't named it in the first place. Right? Right?
Is there
I-
something?
I'll agree with you, Mayor. There was not an official name of that area. It was just other than there was a commitment, and you know this before I came on council, to utilize that land in the Saltgrass area for that West Side Park.
So this is not a name change, let me ask Gus. This is not a name change, Gus. Are we able to legally act under this agenda item? Because all we're gonna do is name it apparently West Side Park.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's commonly known as Saltgrass Park. It sounds like if I was to say, what's it referred to as now? It's got to have a name.
It does not.
Well,
I-
but it's got to have, everything
It
has.
doesn't even have a slide, Gus.
There's nothing there.
It's not a merry-go-round out
Well,
there.
and I think that there is a point of
There's not a horseshoe
information
ring
there,
out.
that the actual land that originally was thought of for this space has delightfully extended due to the land behind the Dollar General next to the Central Fire Station. It is actually, instead of a small rectangle, it's now a large L. And it was because of the landlocked land behind that Dollar General that was owned by the EDC. They then transferred that to the city of Lamarck to expand the original rectangle and to be a greater footprint for a city park to be developed there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Listen, there's a subdivision named Saltgrass, and in that subdivision, there is a park.
Yeah.
That is Saltgrass Park,
Mhm.
right? It's their private park.
Yes, sir.
For their community.
Yes, sir.
I think this is about ensuring that the folks on the west side of our city realize that this is actually a city park
Yes, that's correct.
and not necessarily a park that Saltgrass owns, which would be a deterrent for them to use the park, in essence.
Yes, sir.
Nothing against the good people at Saltgrass. We're just trying to make sure that there's some clarification and distinction. I'll entertain that motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Item 9.7, volunteer background checks. Considering the implementation of background checks for all volunteers, including boards, commissions, committees, and council. I believe this was discussed last meeting. Is that right, Ms. Nance?
Yes, sir. I believe this was initially brought by Mayor Pro Tem at the last meeting to request that that the council reconsider doing background checks on volunteers for specified offenses, I think is the best way to put that. And then for you all to decide what those offenses would be.
And
Go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor, just for clarity, there's so much going on. The follow-up on this is our existing application, which is Ms. Nance refreshed my memory that the original version did have that, and I thought we still had it. But I've been working on, as we talked last time, on this, and hopefully I'm just asking for time so that we can bring it back at the next meeting, and I can present this after also passing it by Gus for us to consider some of the changes on the application.
Are you making a motion to table?
Yes, sir.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's no discussion on the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. At 9.8, waiver for fees at Highland Bayou Pavilion rental. Waiving rental fees for the Southeast Texas Sports Fishing Association. Mr. Pritchett, what are those fees? And Shannon, do you know what those fees are?
I believe,
Ms. Nance?
I believe the pavilion is $250.
It's $100 for residents and $250 deposit.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
$100 to
For
rent.
residents, if you're a resident, and then $250 deposit. So
Okay.
you get that $200 deposit.
Okay.
$200 deposit.
And you get it back if
You
you,
get
if you.
part of it back.
So what about if you're not a resident?
That's,
I believe that's where the 250.
I believe that's where the
rate.
250 comes from. If you're not a resident and.
$250.
Correct.
sir.
Yes, sir. And historically, what we have seen is a waiver for community partners, as if the Parks Board is trying to host a fishing tournament, if KLMBC is doing a tree giveaway, those types of events, cleanups and things as such, as well as nonprofit usage. One of the things that we have talked about and discussed in our schedule of fees is assessing all of those types of fees for all of our parks, but obviously Mac McGaffey Highland Bayou Park Pavilion is the one that gets the most traction. And so that's where you see the fees currently sit.
All right, go ahead, Joe.
One item that's not included in this item is that the Parks Board made this recommendation. The group came to the Parks Board, made the request, and the Parks Board approved it and passed it on to us.
Very good. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 9-8, waiver of fees for Highland Bayou Pavilion, not that, 9-9, council privileges. Requesting clarification regarding the use of legislative privileges. Are you requesting clarification from us, or are you going to, you and Gus gonna clarify for us?
Combination of both, actually. This is something that's been kind of an area of concern in my department, just because of the amount of requests. We have a very active council, probably one of the most active councils I've had in my time here, and just trying to get some clarity on what is being expected of us. A very significant portion of the week is dedicated to this activity, which is fine. But I just wanted to make sure I'm asking for clarity on, is that the will of the council? Is that how we want to proceed? And then also setting reasonable parameters on what that looks like.
Okay, so why don't you explain to us, you or Gus, you and Gus, doesn't matter, what a legislative privilege actually is?
Sure. And then obviously Gus cut me off if I stray. Legislative privilege is information, is the council's right to information as it pertains to creating policy, that gives the council access to information that wouldn't necessarily be as available to the general resident, because it is information that's needed to create policies and procedures in your official capacity.
Did you want to add, Gus?
That sounds.
So
I'll add to that.
So hold on a minute, Ms. Lowry. So the scenario is, so that we're all understanding, a legislative privilege is council members, mayor, looking to create, amend a policy, pass an ordinance, pass a resolution, things that are specific to our role here as a council when we get together in a public meeting. Those items of information are what you call legislative privilege.
Correct.
Things that we need to determine how we want to proceed, not just any arbitrary bit or piece of information is what you're trying to say.
Correct.
Okay, Gus, did you want to add something to that? What do you need from us before we open it up to council? What are you asking us to do, Ms. Nance?
I am asking for the council to consider a policy just for us to know what those guardrails are, how we process them, and just so we can more adequately track those, so we can have that data to present to you when it comes time for, you know, our annual kind of update, for us to say, well, you know, this is how much time we spend on this, this, and this, the same way we track open records requests.
Yeah.
Just because.
Sure. All right, let's open this up before we don't have a motion on the floor, but we'll discuss. Mr. Lowry, did you want to say something?
Yeah, so this is being brought up because of me, and that's great. That's fine.
That's not necessarily true. I just want
So now, legislative privilege, being an elected official gives you the right to view stuff, view documents, some things that are not readily available to the public. For instance, a body cam that I just recently viewed. Now, the importance of that is if there's information withheld from me as an elected official, I can't do my job properly. And there is a huge lack of transparency, not just in Marque, but in Texas City, who just got charges filed on them or criminal complaints filed.
So it's not just a Lamarck problem, it's a county problem. And, you know, people put in open records requests. Open records requests are obviously oftentimes sent to a very dishonest law firm, Olson and Olson. That's why cities tend to use Olson and Olson, because they'll be untruthful with the attorney general. They won't tell the whole story to the attorney general. They'll keep out information to the attorney general. So they're utilized typically to hide information from the public. And that information should not be hidden from the public or from an elected official. And we can view information and have the right to view information, credit cards, spending, body cams, all those things would fall under executive privilege or legislative, whatever term you would like to use.
No, there's a distinction. There's only one person in America, in all of America, in every part of America that has executive privilege. You know him. That's my president, Donald Trump. He's the only one. Everybody else deals with legislative. Go.
So different people have different terminology. It depends on, you can talk to a state rep, they'll say legislative privilege. You could talk to there's different terms people use it. So whatever term you want to use, bottom line is, as an elected official, we have the right to view information request. Anything being held, I think, is a disservice to the taxpayers that elected us and us from doing our job. It's wrong. That's one of the biggest reasons I ran for political office, because the dishonesty with open records, and it's still happening today.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Question. You said that without this, that you can't do your job properly. You said that, right? Okay. So my question then is, describe for us, what is your job?
Well, if I wanna audit credit cards, that's my job. I can do that. If the taxpayers ask me to do something like that, I can do that. That's my job. The will of the taxpayer is our job.
You believe you can personally audit credit cards?
Yeah, absolutely. I can look at credit cards and go through them.
Okay. And what else did you say? What is your job again?
To do the will of the people.
The will of the people?
If a citizen has for instance, Ms. Yancey said there was dog bites that were out of line. We have a right to view that body cam. Am I wrong or am I right?
Let me finish, Joe. I'll let you in a minute. Go ahead, Mr. Lowry. Proceed.
So, that's the kind of stuff that we have the privilege to do.
Legislative, the word legislative implies that you are in the process of passing a law, a resolution, an ordinance, a policy, or a procedure to benefit the people that you represent. Legislative privilege is limited to information that a council person or mayor or any elected representative would need in order to understand and to implement, to vote on, to propose ordinances, laws, policies, and procedures. It does not mean in any stretch of the term that you can just go around all willy-nilly and just look at stuff. You mentioned earlier that you were viewing body cam footage. And somebody out in the community is telling other people in the community that it is being illegally withheld.
Correct.
Was that you that said that?
Yeah, it's being illegal.
Okay. So do you want to tell me why it's being illegally withheld so that I can tell them why it's not? No, we're talking about legislative privilege. He says he has legislative privilege. So let's let him think his way through and explain to us what that really means.
Okay, I don't have to think my way through this. I've already done the research and I've already had other people help me with the research. So, during that event, the executive session had broke apart.
Stop right there. How does an executive session break apart? What are the elements, Mr. Lowry, that would lead for an executive session to be broken apart? Go.
Well, you could actually look at the open record request that I turned in and you.
No. What are the elements that would cause an executive session to break apart? What are those elements? What are those components?
Let me do your research for you. Give me 1 second.
You said you had done the research. Let me just help you.
Yeah, I got an email.
No, let me just help you. No, go ahead. Let's entertain this a while longer. We got a few seconds.
Good.
Go.
I'm pulling up right now.
All right. Do you need my help?
If you want to pull up the open record that was submitted, it was, here's the thing. The record was denied because someone said. There's no documentation from any law firm to back up someone said other than someone said. If a law firm is going to say that it cannot be released, then have that law firm go ahead and write it on paper, submit it to me, submit it to the citizens that have requested it, and then we can go to the AG from there.
Why wasn't it released, Joseph?
Can I ask you a question?
Hold on. I'm going to finish this because the public needs to know exactly. Do you want me to finish it, Gus?
Yeah, we're going to.
I'll finish it. Let me just tell the public. Here's why what he's saying is wrong. An executive session can only be called by the presiding officer, which is the mayor. The mayor called an executive session, and the mayor had 2 other council members in the room with him simultaneously while the entire event happened. I stayed in the room. Mr. Ross stayed in the room. Miss Yancey stayed in the room. Gus did not stay in the room, but Gus is in the back of an executive session at the pleasure of a council. He leaves the room. He goes to get whoever he wants to go get, as long as Mr. Ross, Miss Yancey, and Mr. Bell was in the room, and Mr. Bell did not break executive session. Executive session was not broke. That's all we can do to entertain that right now, Mr. Lowry, because we're talking about legislative privilege.
That's your opinion.
If you had, no, that's the law.
No,
I'm
okay,
not gonna,
then get a
we're gonna
law
move
firm.
on.
Then get a
We're gonna
law
move
firm.
on.
Mayor
Mr.
Bell.
Lowry, I don't need a law firm.
Then
That's the
can
law.
I speak?
We're gonna move on.
Can I speak?
You
Then get a law firm.
You have one more comment, and then we're gonna move on.
Then get a law firm.
Don't have to.
See, that's why. Get a
Because-
law firm to
because-
sign something
because-
saying why they're gonna, because we're gonna get it.
Because
We're gonna get it.
because it's the law.
No, you're
It's the
wrong.
law.
It's
We're
your
gonna move on.
opinion, and we're gonna get it.
Mr. Lowry, Mr.
Promise.
Lowry,
It'll
we're
be
gonna
played
move
for the
on.
public.
Mr. Lowry,
You want to hide it for a reason.
Mr. Lowry, we're gonna move on. If you don't stop talking when I'm presiding, you know what's gonna happen.
Tell the taxpayers why you want to hide it. Tell them why you want to hide it.
Mr. Pritchett, can you begin to direct your officers to do what we need to do to conduct our meeting?
Please do.
I believe the officers are here and I believe we can conduct the meeting appropriately.
Okay.
So we won't need them.
I'm the presider, and here's what always happens in our meetings. I'm the presider. I'm going to preside, whether you like it or not. At the end of the day, that's how the meetings are conducted, and that's how the people's business is handled. Never had a problem with it before until you came. So here's what we're going to do.
Can I respond to that?
No,
too?
you cannot,
can
because
go
I'm the
back to
presider.
2013 and see the
Mr.
meetings with you. acting a
Mr.
fool.
Pritchett, Mr. Pritchett, can you get your officers to get this person to refrain from continuing to disrupt our meeting? Can you do that? Can they have a conversation with him so that we can move on? We're trying to have a meeting.
You're trying to control the narrative.
We're trying to have
You're
a
trying to
meeting.
control the narrative.
Mr. Lowry, we're trying to have a meeting. We're gonna move past you. Everybody in this room that's on this dais, let's move past Mr. Lowry. Let him talk all he wants to. We're gonna conduct the people's business. Now, we are on council privileges. Ms. Nance, as far as I'm concerned, my vote is for every council person to submit an open records request for any information that they want. Doesn't matter what it is. Every council person, in my opinion, should have to submit an open records request. That way, there is no such thing as legislative privileges. Everything can go through open records.
Because
That's
you
an
don't like
entertain, that's a
transparency.
motion, that is a motion that I
Because
will
you don't
entertain.
like
I
transparency.
will entertain that motion. Did you want to speak, Mr. Ross? Let's
So-
let Mr. Ross speak and then we're gonna move past this.
So I asked about transparency, what, a month ago when it came to the budget and the amount of money that was being spent on little things, and I got a nasty email back about illegal poker activities that I was supposedly running and such. So you're not looking
Okay,
for
okay,
transparency.
okay.
Let's move past this.
Yeah, I think we need to move past this.
Let's move past the disruption and let's, Ms. Nance, you heard my recommendation. Any other person want to speak to legislative privileges?
And I would, only one thing I really would like to say is our charter does not allow us as council to speak to employees at will. They must go through the city manager to let that happen.
That's correct. Everybody knows that.
I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, let's listen. I will entertain a motion. I will entertain a motion. It can be what I suggested, or it can be what you all's pleasure is. I will entertain a motion. We're on council privileges.
Council, where it says
What-
related discussion points number one. Is that what you're saying? The lack of official, because there's 5 of them.
Okay, can I hop in?
Jump in and help us and then we'll move forward.
Sorry. This seems like the supporting document is where the error came in. It was just to show that I was not the only person who had questions. That was it. Only thing that this item was intended to do was to request a policy or a process
form.
or a form, something of
Right.
that nature.
Right.
I did not expect it to turn into what it turned.
Well, we have to get a better understanding of legislative privileges and why it turned into what it turned into. Let's move forward. Again, I will entertain that motion.
I believe Mayor
Mr.
Pro Tem
Compion.
was trying.
Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry. I excluded you. Go ahead.
I want to pick up with your last statement. The part about executive privilege, I think, was dealt with. That's not even part of this for me. It's a totally different area. But I'm still stuck on trying to understand what is legislative privilege. And I've heard that there's the existence of something, but that's more in Austin. I really don't understand how it applies at the municipal level, Gus. And that's kind of where I would like some more clarity. And I think that's what, if I'm correct in saying this to the city clerk, that's the sort of clarity she's also asking for, correct?
Yes, sir.
In terms of what, and my only item is that if an item is on one of our agendas to be discussed in open session, then it seems to me just on an item that has been posted, if we have questions on that and need some resource information, is it fair to say that we can ask for that? See, that's where I'm still trying to understand that.
Yes, sir.
I think we could refer to TML. We can refer to a number of resources for that, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so
Go ahead, Ms. Yance.
and I agree with you, Councilman Compion, because there are some things that when they show up on the agenda and we need clarity, that we're able to get that information in order to be properly prepared. And sometimes when the agenda comes out, it's over the weekend, so we do have to make phone calls to ask. I think what you're discussing is because there has been an abuse of it, almost. I hate to say the word abuse, but repetitive. Which is kind of what we discussed at our last meeting with overuse of the legal bills, right? And so I think what you're asking us for is a form or a policy to get some type of order. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, just so we can document the information that is being released.
Yeah.
Because based on the 5 things I see though, that is very concerning. And you do have to speak to it, but I think if it makes it easier for your staff, I think we need to, if you could come back with a form perhaps, or a policy to suggest to us, so that again, this becomes another teachable moment to I have never felt that there was a lack of transparency. I have never felt that we were not getting the information when it was requested. But if you and we or Gus can come up with some type of policy that we can look at, just so we can put some parameters around it and some barriers, if need be.
The only thing that I would add, and Ms. Nance, correct me if I'm wrong, but from I guess from operations, from the way that the wishes of council are executed to Ms. Nance's office. As a reminder, that's a 2-person department. That's Ms. Nance and Ms. Lott, her deputy, with their workload of, again, agenda preps, boards and commissions, and as well as the requests from 5 members of council and or any clarity for records from administration alike. What Ms. Nance is attempting to do in this is to obviously know how to track her staff, her own workload, and all the above. And I think that that's why she was looking more of a forum, but obviously with that, the research of a policy as it deems fit. Again, I wanted to, from an operational standpoint, because again, during budget, one of the things that I guess Ms. Nance would be responsible for the city clerk's budget of administration would be workload, would be needs that they would need, and anything in relating to that. If the workload itself has increased, there would be a desire to be able to track that. Is that right, Ms. Nance?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, I would suggest that we make every council member go through the open records request so that the entire community can see exactly what we are requesting under a legislative privilege.
So, Mayor Bill.
You cannot be recognized, Mr. Lowry,
Okay,
without the chair recognizing you. You cannot.
Can I speak?
Now, we're gonna go ahead and entertain a motion. This horse isn't even dead anymore. It's non-existent.
We have investigated.
I will entertain a motion.
And can I
I will entertain a motion.
A question?
I will entertain a motion. We're done.
Can I ask you
We're done. I will entertain a motion.
Can I ask you why you would
No, you
want to hide
cannot.
stuff from
Now
the
you
public?
cannot. No, you cannot. The motion that,
What do you want to
Ms.
hide from the
Nance,
public, Bill?
Ms. Nance,
I move that we accept that motion.
is that a second?
You would.
Hold on just a minute.
I'm so sorry. I don't have an official motion.
I need a motion.
Are you
Motion
making?
that we as a council go through the public records request for anything that we wish to have, and that you also work on a standard operating procedure for us and your department on what you need from us as we ask for information.
Is that a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
All right, there it is. City manager's report, as always, council. What we're gonna do is call those out. If you want to speak to those, let me know. 10-1, March 20, you want 10-1? 10-2, February. 10-2, February 2025 finance report. 10-3, February 2025 crime statistics. 10-4, February 2025 Lamarque Public Library report.
I want to see the crime rate.
You want to go back to 10-3? Okay, Ms. Yancey, 10-3. Anybody for 10-4? 10-5, update on wastewater treatment plant expansion and upcoming bid phase.
Yes, I'd like to.
You want that one, Ross? Okay. 10-6, manhole project update.
Yes.
10-7, Walmart Foundation grant application. And 10-8 is city managers for the good of the order. Let's go back to 10-1. Mr. Ross.
I
I'm
would
gonna
like
speak.
to
Ms.
have-
Turner, are you on? I'm sorry, Councilman Ross, I'm just. If it is okay with council, I know Ms. Turner just stepped out. She should be logging on. If we could potentially look at crime statistics and since we have the police department here and then move back to sales tax.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go with 10-3. Chief, are you ready? Chief Wagner, I don't know who's gonna. Okay, Ms. Yancey.
Chief, you know what? I'm gonna have to decline, because what I wanted to ask you, I can't see it. So we'll do it later. I'm sorry.
You wanna do it at a later time?
Later time.
All right.
Give us our sewer and manhole covers while we're waiting for Ms. Turner.
Oh, Shannon, that would be 10-5. You can do 10-5 and 10-6, right?
Yeah.
Good.
He's the man.
Oh, yeah, just a quick update on the expansion of the wastewater treatment plant. We've been communicating with Adura pretty much weekly, make sure they're staying on track. As of right now, we are scheduled to be done with this plant in that timely manner that we discussed of the October deadline. April 23rd, we're going to be putting they're going to be putting the first advertisement in the newspaper. April the 30th will be the second advertising. Then we're going to go out for pre-bid on May 7th. Bid opening on May 23rd, where we're gonna do a recommendation of award. We'll be bringing that to you on June the 9th. And then as long as everything goes smoothly throughout that time, we're gonna do notice to proceed and start breaking ground on July 9th with the completion date October 30th. That's where we're at on that.
Manhole?
Yeah, I know the last council meeting, they, council member Compion requested an update on where we were at. So I have got the maps of the areas we worked in. On those maps, the green dots are all the manholes we have completed up until now. I do know, so that would be an area 9, 10, 11, and 12. They are now working and started working in area 4, eventually moving to area 3 of those. I don't have the exact number off the top of my head. But I do know when you click on each of those maps, you can see all the areas that we've been. You can see all the manholes that have been done, the streets they're on, and so.
You good with that, Ross?
Yes.
All right, let's, is Ms.
I can speak to.
You gonna speak to?
I can speak to sales tax.
Sales
yes, sir.
tax? All right, go ahead.
I think the point more than anything else that we wanted to first and foremost, obviously, I asked Councilman Ross if I could make this statement before he had any questions, and I know that it was during our financial retreat that we had last week that we spoke to this matter. But for the public to all be on the same page, if you look at the sales tax report coming out of March, currently where it sits is a 190% surcharge of sales tax in the city of Lamarque. If it looks great, it's an extra $1.5 million that nobody was preparing for. However, it's short-lived news to say the least, because what that is a variance due to energy, an energy company that we have seen throughout the state of Texas. Miss Turner, and I don't know if she's on currently, but one of the things that Miss Turner, there she is. She's beauty and she's grace. She's Miss United States. But one of the things that Miss Turner and I have discussed is this current amount would not be appropriate for us to, I guess, to take to the bank, as they used to say,
sure.
due to the fact of we have seen other cities that have had a shortfall because of similar happening stances. And whereas we do not have the burden to, again, spend that 1.5 and then have to come back and to pay somebody back. We just basically don't feel like it's legitimate at this point. Obviously, we want to make sure that we want to to do our due diligence, especially with taxpayer funds, to make sure that we're not spending money too rapidly. And if we cannot legitimize this amount and what we were expecting, it would be a shortcoming of staff, to say the least. Ms. Turner, if you had
Yeah,
anything else to add. Okay,
Yeah,
please.
I did speak to someone, at the,
Yeah, and we
Hey,
don't,
did-
Oh,
no,
hold
we
on.
don't, if I may, sales tax reports are confidential under the law.
sorry.
We don't
yeah.
need
Okay.
to
Can
get
I give
into
it
the
over? Can I
details.
give it?
No details.
I think that what I took from Mr. Pritchett,
Okay.
there may or may not have been an overpayment. City staff is running the traps. And once city staff does that, city staff will make a report to council.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gus.
Thank you, Gus.
You're like those little bumpers in bowling.
All right, Mr. Pritchett, it's you.
All right. First and foremost, I know we discussed it already, but April 22nd, 10 a.m., if you meet us out at the Lamarck Public Library or right next door at Walter Feigl Park, they're going to be having their monarch butterfly release at 10 o'clock that morning. In addition to that, I have a few other save the dates for the public as well. Coming up shortly, we have our Senior Safety Summit that's going to be at the end of this month, April 28th. 29th, thank you, sir. That will be kicking off as we get prepared for hurricane season. We want to obviously make sure that we're double downing on the resources as it comes to all citizens and residents of the city of Lamarck. And so we're kicking off this year with that Senior Safety Summit that will continue into our Hurricane Huddle and Community Fair, which is going to be May 17th, as a reminder to the public. Let me also remind you that Keep Lamarck Beautiful Spring Cleanup, which is a way for our citizens and our residents to clean out their spaces, get rid of any non-hazardous materials, document shredding, beds and mattresses, yard debris, all of that. And that's going to be April 26th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that's going to be over at our Public Works ABC building parking lot. And again, moving forward, our Juneteenth gala this year is going to be on the date of June 18th. And the theme this year is the idea of legacy. And so we're going to continue that trend here in the city of Lamarck by our Juneteenth gala as well. Let me also invite the general public because it was so well received by our police and fire union last year for our Life and Liberty celebration, which this year is going to fall on July 5th. That Life and Liberty celebration last year, if you remember, was our first annual charity softball tournament between our police and fire unions that we did last year. Well, it became popular with our neighbors. So we have other police and fire unions around the county that have already reached out to the Lamarck unions for both police and fire to be included as well. So we're really hoping to have some new additions for that softball tournament, as well as potential highlight for the kids in the community as well. And that is, again, going to be on July 5th. After that, when it comes to more of the finer points when it comes to operations, I know that I discussed this with council again last week in our financial retreat. I keep laughing because every time I say retreat, I think of white sandy beaches, palm trees, and little umbrellas in my. But us going through finances was respectfully not as relaxing, but that is the job, the will of the people. But I would love to report back that Shannon and his team at Public Works are undergoing some significant changes to better serve the community of Lamarck. We're specifically looking at really putting teeth to our stormwater division of Public Works. It has never really been an actual division of Public Works. It's been more of a, hey, when you're not doing this, can you go look at this one drain? And between Mr. Bro and myself, as well as his staff. We've really wanted to really put teeth to that as it relates to a city on the Texas coast, especially in and outside of hurricane season. I will also report to you that the Lamar Public Works has a mosquito control spraying plan. Somebody say amen in the back.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
So what this is going to be is a duration for us to spray 6 months out of the year to focus on the times that are going to that are going to be coming up for mosquitoes to be breeding inside of that still water. Shannon and his team have already begun to put what they call dunkers into those sitting water ditches or drains in order to kill the larvae. But they are going to be spraying, and their recommended frequency as it currently sits are going to be 3 nights a week, and they're going to be spraying 3 to 6 hours per night. What we're looking at currently for that schedule is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, non-consecutive schedule. And that timing is obviously going to be from about 8 p.m. to about 4:30 in the morning, which is the peak mosquito activity, as well as to protect the pollinators at that time as well. We don't want to kill off all of our bees along with the mosquitoes. We're obviously going to make any adjustments to that schedule given the weather. If there's rain, if there's strong wind, there is plenty of data to back up how the inefficiencies of the weather of just driving around and blowing the insecticide in rain or in heavy winds. So we want to make sure that we put that caveat at the end because we know that this is a desire of our neighbors, it's a desire of our residents, and it's a need for all of us. I have an 8-month-old that looks like she's swelling up because of mosquito bites. So trust me, I know and believe that this isn't important for all of us. And so Shannon and his team have put that into play as we continue out. And then all of the budget amendment proposals that we talked about as it currently sits that we will be bringing to council shortly in the next meeting that we discussed for the general public are underway. That's it. Thank you.
Very good. All right, let's get into it. I don't think that we're gonna have an executive session tonight, Gus. I think that it's gonna be out here. And so let me move to, do you want me to still read the executive session?
Y'all, you can, and we'll just do it out here. That's up to you and council.
Executive session, the city council for the city of Lamar, Texas reserves the right to adjourn into executive session at any time during this meeting to discuss any of the matters listed below as authorized by Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. 551.072, deliberations about real property. 551.073, deliberations about gifts and donations. 551.074, personnel matters. 551.076, deliberations about security devices. And 551.087, economic development. And today, we have 11-1 for the purpose of hearing a complaint or charge against an officer or employee, Councilmember District D. It was placed on the agenda by District C's council member and District D's council member. 11-2 for the purpose of hearing a complaint or charge against an officer or employee, the mayor. It was put on the agenda by Councilmember District C and Councilmember District D. Mr. Ross, I believe you want to have this in open session, and I will just follow your lead.
Sounds good, yep.
Sounds good. Let's be clear. Let me provide some ground rules for us. I'm the presiding officer, so we need to follow instructions. This goes the same every time. There is a complaint. No one talks during, well, we shouldn't talk during the complaint. There will be a rebuttal from the person who the accusation of the complaint has been made against. There will be potential questions from council members only. And then there will be, may or may not be an action to follow. We will not interrupt each other. If we do, these complaints won't be heard and they will be dismissed for a later consideration. And so, did you want something, Chief? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Clarify the rules of engagement that was approved by council.
No.
No?
No. Yeah. Very good. Now, 11-1, for the purpose of hearing a complaint or charge against an officer or employee, Councilmember District D, who submitted this complaint?
Me.
Mr. Lowry, you have the floor. Mr. Ross, please remain quiet until Mr. Lowry is finished, and then you will have a chance to rebut. Mr. Lowry.
So, Mr. Gus, the events that took place that are part of the complaint did happen in executive session. So are we able to discuss that out here on the floor?
So, two things. One, the complaint Ms. Nance just showed me that you sent on March the 26th appears to be about something that was said on the dais. If that's not the subject of your complaint, then generally what's said in executive session cannot be repeated in open session. That is, however, council has, that it is council's privilege. If council as a whole wants to say something in open. If council makes that decision, council can do that. And so does that answer your question? Does anyone have any questions if that answers your question, does anyone else have any, did I explain myself sufficiently well?
You explained yourself.
So I guess it was the actions of in the back, I believe was on the. You want to read the complaint?
I can. Give me 1 second. I'll just close it. Let me open it back. Okay, so the complaint that I received that was seconded by Councilmember District D came on Wednesday, March 26th at 9:09 a.m. Subject was ethics. Says, here's an actual valid ethics complaint. I'd like to file an ethics complaint against Keith Bell and James Ross for both lying on the dais about what I said. I can bring both videos to watch as a PowerPoint presentation. Their live versus my truth. Joseph Lowry, Six Brothers Concrete Company.
And also the actions from in the back of an executive session.
You know when you sent out one person? Because I have emails regarding that, but it wasn't asked to be put on the agenda as an executive session.
And if that's what Councilmember Ross seconded, then that's the complaint we have.
Did you second the one
I
about
second the
that she
one
just
about
read?
what we said on the dais.
Very good.
I'll resubmit the complaint for next week because it is involving the behaviors of the.
Sorry, I just wanted to, when you sent me a question about, and I'm being very tedious about the words that I said, about a complaint, it wasn't an ethics complaint against a council member. For that, it was regarding the attorneys. It wasn't regarding their actions.
Since Gus, I'm sorry, can I speak, Mayor? I'm sorry.
You may speak.
Since Gus has said it is at the privilege of the council. And if Councilman Lowry would like to talk about what happened back there, even though it wasn't a part of, the attic.
Well, then I would have to turn to Gus because it would be discussing something that wasn't previously noticed. So I would have to
But
turn
you
over.
just said it's at our.
It's at your privilege, subject to what was actually seconded.
Right.
And
I'm let the record reflect, I don't have a problem with him bringing that up.
Right. Well, I just meant for purposes of the agenda, Councilmember Ross did not second that. He seconded the one about what was said. That's what I was saying.
As
Okay.
this complaint is going on right now, if he would like to bring up my actions in the executive.
Nope. We have the 72-hour rule. Remember, we can't just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll resubmit it so.
And once he resubmits it, I will already second it.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Lowry, you got the floor, bud.
No, I'm gonna resubmit the complaint for next week.
Very good.
Or next
You got- no, you have one on the floor now.
Yeah, we have the one for the dais right now.
Yeah, that one's ready.
No, I'm gonna do it all at the same time.
No, we're gonna do this right now. This is on the agenda right now. The one for, you said that we lied on you. You say that you said in that complaint that you got a video, PowerPoints, you got all that ready. So we're in the middle of a complaint. You have the floor.
And I said that I'm going to resubmit the complaint for the next council meeting. and add to it, and we can deal with it all at the same time.
And if he chooses not to second now you're out in the water by yourself, if he chooses not to
I
second.
would like to deal with what's on the agenda tonight. And then second, what you.
Is there a second for that?
I'm gonna do it at the same time.
Gus, give us guidance, because this is ridiculous.
Sounds like, it sounds like the person, to me, sounds like the person who made the complaint doesn't wish to go forward tonight. Sounds like others want to hear it. If the person who wants to make the complaint does not want to move forward, I would say there's nothing for the rest of you all to hear.
Thank you.
How you choose to address this, should it come up again, is solely each of your prerogatives.
Well then, I guess we're on the requests and announcements. Would you like to engage in that?
I guess, requests ditches be cleaned out in district, all of them, throughout the city. I want to give a shout out to the drainage district again for, doing the work through the canal, the concrete, base canal. I've never seen that thing get that full, and, I think they did it in just the right time. Thank God they got it done. Thank you to Mr. Cravens, Mr. Hobgood, and everybody over there at the drainage district, for getting that done. And I believe they want to continue to help the city of Lamarque if we can get, cooperation from the city. Lots of, Partridge, I know, is another area.
Already underway. Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yep. Mr. Bro, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Mr. Bro has worked with Mr. Cravens for interlocal agreement that is currently underway, so that we will also have one of the, is it drainage specialist at DD2? The plan is to, first and foremost, to have the drainage specialist from DD2 come over and continue to train our public works crews. Again, we've never had a stormwater part division of public works, but as we are creating that, because obviously we all live here, we know the needs of it. That drainage specialist from DD2 is going to come over and continuously train our stormwater crew as we move forward to continue to grade ditches, to work with culverts and all the above, as well as to do the research that is currently going under to map our entire drainage for the city of Lamarque, something that has never been done. But Mr. Bro says that obviously with our coordination with Mr. Cravens, as well as the team and the foreman that he has on stormwater, that this will be easily executed.
So one of the questions, do they have to sign a interlocal agreement for each?
We can't do that, Mr. Lowry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Well, yeah, shout out to them for helping. And another area of concern was the going into Mac McGaffey Park, both the north and south side of the roadway. It's overgrown with cattails and whatnot. And those are the two areas I've had a lot of requests to clean up. So thank you for working with drainage district and getting this ditch cleaning crew organized.
Are you done?
I'm done.
All right, Mr. Ross.
April 26th, don't forget the spring cleanup. I'm also going to be hosting a meet and greet for the District D candidates at 405 Laurel Avenue. No?
In the building.
Not here.
Okay.
Yeah, we would.
Sorry, we can't speak about that here because this location is a polling station.
Location.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we are not allowed to speak in this facility. Sorry.
Oh,
All right, then please check my councilman page for further. Other than that, that's all I got.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Ross. Miss Yancey.
okay. JB, for our agenda. I too took a tour and then we talked about that and just want to let my constituents know that we took a tour with the Drainage District 2 and looked at some of I agree with Mr. Lowry about being able to come together and partner on that to see what we can do. And that's something that we've talked about for quite some time. I know you and we also talked about the area that the city owns on Lake Road by the Mike's, if we can get that paved so it can look professional and all, where the city's property starts, so we can get that concreted down. I also would like to put on the agenda the part about our charter, which speaks to the area of convicted felons. Gus, I'm going to request that we get an open records request on Councilman Lowry to ask a question about his felony. I think to what Ms. Perrin brought to this dais, I think we need to just for once and for all answer that so we can put that to rest once and for all. So I'm going to ask our staff to get that information in writing, a judicial ruling and an open records request on the criminal background. Our charter says that you cannot be a convicted felon, regardless of it being vacated. It does not speak to that. And I think we owe our constituency that information. So we can please have that on the agenda when we come back, because I'm tired of hearing it. And I think he's tired of hearing it. And let's get something in writing and on file so we can just get past that. I'm ready to get past some things so we can go forward. Thank you for everything that the staff is doing, the professionalism, getting back to us. And Stop the Violence is April 23rd through the 26th. We're going to be doing the tournament at the high school again. And Chief, I look forward to working with you all again next week for that. We're also doing a crawfish boil this Friday for Good Friday. It's open to the public. It's free to come by and play spades, dominoes, all of that. And I encourage everyone to come out. It starts at 1, ends at about 6:30. We're going to be doing line dancing and things like that. So, but thank you guys. And Mayor, I do apologize for the lack of respect. I hope that all of our council members will follow. We'll be better next time. We're trying. And thank you for your patience with this council. That's all I have.
Very good. Is Mayor Pro Tem, did he leave?
Yes, he left.
Very good. Well, let's see. Mr. Pritchett, I want to get a report from all of our contractors as to why we continue to have these major water main breaks. We're having major water main breaks. They are causing issues in our city. And the contractors are at the root of the vast majority of them. And so we need to understand what's happening. The council needs the information to be able to respond. Do we need to add layers or checks and balances, right? To ensure this doesn't happen again, because the resident of Lamarck does not know necessarily that the water main breaks are being caused by contractors. Some of them think that those are our folks, and others think that it's a failure in infrastructure. And many times that is the case. It is a failure in infrastructure, but in a lot of these cases, it is not a failure of infrastructure. And so I think that we need a report. Also, I want to know when the Civic Academy will be available. I know we talked about online versus in-person courses, classes, and things of that nature. whenever, whatever platform we use. I'd like to know when that start date would be. Also, I want to update from, Habitat for Humanity, as it relates to, Heroes Village. And I would like for us to have a workshop, even if it's only 2 hours, with TxDOT.
The local text doc. In reference to.
In reference to all
what
of the
is going
debris.
on, 45,
Yes.
debris, lights.
All of the
45.
debris
Yes, sir.
that is, apparently being left on alongside of roads.
Yes, sir.
In particular, the feeder road, the 45 feeder road.
Yes, sir.
Um,
I know that the minutes were approved of the financial retreat for the general public to just know. I know that y'all did talk about that. We did talk about all of that at the financial retreat. We attempted to try to get them tonight due to scheduling conflicts. We could not, but we will definitely make sure to bring this back because of the need for that.
very good. Ms. Nance, let's be sure to check. I think that I'm hearing that people are making complaints and they're not showing up on the agenda. There's been some folks that have made complaints against council members that have not shown up on the agenda. And so we need to make sure that all of those complaints are being brought forward through Gus to the council. I don't think that you can respond, but if you have a point of information, you can't. Listen, Gus, if you have a point of information, I'll hear it.
The current procedure says that if I receive those complaints, they do go to Gus, but they are submitted to the council in writing, for the council to determine if it goes on the agenda. It doesn't automatically go on the agenda. I don't have that authority.
So have you forwarded all the complaints to Gus? Very good. Well, that's what we need to know. And that link that you actually added just now is, I think, what needed to be heard. So just because they turn them into you does not mean that they will show up here, is what you're saying. Very good. Very
But
good.
you have to have a first and a second. Okay.
Very good. There it is. That question is answered.
Mayor, may I add one thing about your comment on TxDOT debris?
Yes.
The only thing that I would say before anything, and I think Mr. Bro would back up the fact that when we get these through Request Tracker, or we get these through our channels, this is something that we do with those requests. However, one of the things that obviously helps us is if the general public, because, you know, through a number of things, TxDOT has included, well, we don't just want reports from the city. We want reports from elected officials. We want reports from the general public. We want reports from residents or citizens alike for that. And so the same way that we would submit a reporting an issue on TxDOT.gov, clearly at the top, or you can search report an issue. It's a very clear and concise way. If there is debris, again, we have gotten photos submitted. I know we have talked about different contractors that have left cabling, broken pieces of concrete, along with even forms of concrete left on the side of the road. And our staff goes above and beyond to report those, sometimes reporting those multiple times. It would do a disservice to the public to not encourage them to also resubmit or submit on their own. They can still submit to us. We will still submit that to TxDOT in our regular reports. But I encourage all members of the public that if they have anything on this on a TxDOT thoroughfare, to be able to report this concern directly to TxDOT, so it would add validity rather than just another line item on an Excel spreadsheet that we share with them. We want to make sure that this is reported 7 times, because it is, sometimes it takes that. And so we want to just hit it from a few different angles. That's all I would add.
Is it a question? Try, real quick.
Real quick.
Yes.
So did we ever find out who the community person is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Can you get that?
I have the, yes, ma'am.
All right. There's nothing further. We will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned.
Relax in style at Aqua Living Factory Outlets in Gulfway Plaza, your destination for all things hot tubs. My name's Mandy, and I'm the Public Relations Specialist for the Marque Economic Development Corporation, and